All right, Larry Krueger here from the Pig and a Pickle Krueg Show with a little San Francisco Giant video. As what happens, I go on a little vacation and suddenly the you-know-what hits the fan. The Giants have traded for Rafael Devers, the 28-year-old third baseman, first baseman, DH for the Boston Red Sox. And right now, we know that Jordan Hicks and Kyle Harrison are going back to Boston, plus two more prospects out of the Giants farm system. All right, obviously we don't know the all the players in the trade. So, I mean, if the Giants, who's the best players in the Giants farm system? I mean, it's Bryce Eldridge, right? Bryce Eldridge is their number one guy. It could be Tibbs is one of their number one guys. I would be surprised if they move those guys, but you never know. Let's talk a little bit about this, though. It's Jordan Hicks and Kyle Harrison and two minor leaguers for Devers, who gets traded across country, at age 28. Now, Devers, it was only 2 years ago that the Red Sox signed him to a 10-year, $313.5 million contract that averages AAV of $31.3 million a year that goes through 2033. It went 2022 through 2033. They signed him to that deal to be the face of their franchise just 2 years ago. But things have gone south in the relationship. The relationship has soured over the last 2 months. Devers wanted to play third base. The Red Sox signed Alex Bregman to a 3-year, $120 million deal, and they wanted Devers to play first base or DH. He wanted to play third base. I don't know how that's going to solve itself in San Francisco, where the Giants have Matt Chapman, who almost guaranteed is going to play third base. He's the greatest defensive third baseman of his era. So I don't know if Devers wasn't happy in Boston or if he just wasn't happy as a third base, and I don't know how trading him to the Giants makes him any happier to play third base. But as far as the trade and just what we know on this trade, by the way, my nephew, who I'm out here visiting, who's a big Red Sox fan, was just like, BS trade, horrible. And of course, he is a big Red Sox fan. So that's a Red Sox fan saying absolutely horrible trade. Robert Murray from Fansided reported it first. Jeff Passan from ESPN has corroborated the information. Devers is coming to the Giants. The Giants will absorb Devers' contract in its entirety. As I said, it averages $31.3 million and it goes through 2033. And so the Giants will absorb Devers' contract in its entirety. It's a big financial deal for the Giants. This is something I really like because the Giants are rich. The Giants have nothing but cash. So to use their financial might to make a good deal for an offensive player is something I have been calling for a long freaking time. So I really like this deal. Now, let's talk about both teams. The Giants and the Red Sox both are yearning badly to make the playoffs, but neither team has made the playoffs since 2021. The Giants have not been all that relative. And I think the way they've played the Dodgers, in the beginning of the series, and the way the Giants have played the Dodgers head up through 2 full months of baseball has given Buster Posey and Zach Managian an idea that, they can go to the playoffs. And same way that the Giants were really, really adamant about going to the playoffs in 1993 after 92. They were adamant about going to the playoffs in 97, Sabian's first year at the helm. They're adamant about going to the playoffs with Buster Posey and Zach Managian in year one of this regime, and this is an exciting move. I love it. Boston's 37-36. They're roughly 500. The Giants are playing considerably better than that. As I said, the relationship soured in Boston. So I think the Giants are pouncing and capitalizing on a player that's really, really good. All right, let's talk a little bit about Devers, what the Giants got. This year, Devers is hitting .272. He homered today on Saturday. So he's got 15 home runs on the year. That's 15th in all of Major League Baseball. He's got 58 RBIs. That's third best in all of MLB. We're talking about a guy who's hitting .272, who's a career .279 hitter. 2.2 WAR guy for the season as well. He's 9th in the majors in hard hit percentage. He's 11th in exit velocity off the bat. hits the ball hard, two-time Silver Slugger. He's a World Series champion, and he is in his prime. The Giants badly need it. And I talked about it for weeks and weeks and weeks, heck, months, maybe even years. The Giants need a position player in their prime that they can build around. They need somebody who can hit 3, 4, 5 in this lineup around Elliot Ramos. You got to have a middle of the lineup. The Giants don't have that. Devers gives them that. The fact that he's young and controllable, this is the thing. The Giants have a hard time getting free agent hitters. Why? Because nobody wants to sign long-term to play in their ballpark. This is exactly the kind of player that wouldn't have a problem playing in the Giants' yard. Why? Well, because Devers is 28 and he's already gotten the big payday, so he's not worried. He's paid through 2033. He's not worried necessarily about, you know what? I got Oracle parked. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if he gets Oracle parked or not. Okay, so we do now know that James Tibbs is one of the guys going. The deal, full trade, according to Robert Murray. Giants get Devers from the Red Sox. Jordan Hicks, Kyle Harrison, James Tibbs, and Jose Bello are going back. Okay, Tibbs was the Giants' first-round pick out of Florida State, and he rakes. He's a good hitter. And this is, to me, Tibbs is kind of the key guy in the trade for the Giants. Let's talk about what the Giants traded here. All right, Jordan Hicks is a right-handed pitcher who throws smoke, right? But the downside is he wants to start, but as a starter, he's really only a 5-inning guy that, hits his kind of plateau or hits his ceiling in July, and suddenly he's not a full season starter. He's a 5-inning starter. To me, he's more of a reliever. If you want the dominant guy that the Cardinals had, who was throwing out 105, 106, that's if you shorten him up and put him in the bullpen. If you put Jordan Hicks in the bullpen, yeah, you're going to get 100 plus miles an hour, and that's a great find for any bullpen. I don't like him as a starter. He's a 5-inning starter. He's been hit really hard. He needs a change of scenery. There's no doubt the Giants need to move him, and he's got some value because of what kind of arm he has. But he also makes a little bit of money. So you got Jordan Hicks. Then let's go to Kyle Harrison. Kyle Harrison was the Giants' first-round draft choice. He was headed to UCLA. They paid him above slot to buy him out of his UCLA commitment. He obviously is a Bay Area kid. He went to De La Salle. He's a left-handed pitcher. Now, here's the thing about Harrison. His command is not good enough to be a starter. And so he's really, I think, a reliever. I think he's a live-armed lefty reliever who's going to throw 97, 98 for years to come out of that bullpen. To me, he's a relief pitcher. I don't think he's a starting pitcher. He can't throw enough consistent strikes. He doesn't have good enough command of his stuff to throw enough strikes to be around in the 7th or 8th inning. So he's another guy. He's different than Jordan Hicks. Hicks is a power righty. Harrison's a power lefty. But they're both guys that want to start, but can't start, can't close, and they're kind of more relief pitchers who throw a lot of pitches. So Hicks needed a change of scenery. Harrison, I think, is just, I think this is the right time to trade Harrison because right now his value is still high. There's a lot of speculation that he could still be a dominant starter. He may wind up becoming a guy whose command improves as he ages. He's got a good arm. He can throw high 90s. He's a reliever. To me, Kyle Harrison is Kevin Rogers 1993. He's a left-handed 7th or 8th inning guy who can be overpowering. He's got a good arm. There's no question. But I don't think he's ever going to be a big-time front of the rotation kind of a guy. He's got the stuff to do it. I don't think he's going to do it. As far as Tibbs is a pure hitter, line drive stroke. Really good player at Florida State, first-round draft choice, very polished, doing well in the minor leagues. He'll be at Fenway Park, I would guess, by September. I think Tibbs is a major leaguer later on this year. The guy I don't know much about is Bello. My guess is he's a live-armed reliever or live-armed pitcher in the low minor leagues. The Giants have a lot of these guys. It's that I can't tell you much about Bello. Hicks, they don't need. Harrison needed to be traded, even though he's got great value. Both those guys are guys that really need to be traded, but have had good value. The real costly one is Tibbs. Tibbs is a really good line drive hitter, real good approach, real smart hitter. There's no question he's a nice player. But Devers is a proven player at 28, a proven middle of the order bat. This was the kind of move I've been calling for a long time. The Giants had to make this trade now. Why? Because they are a playoff team with great pitching that they won't miss those two pitchers. They've got guys that they can promote out of the minor leagues. They won't miss Harrison. They won't miss Hicks. And so they're not really, this adds a lot at the major league level and doesn't subtract a lot at the major league level. Tibbs, I think, is the best player in the deal on the going to Boston. And as I said, I think he's a major leaguer later this year, but he's not ready right now. And, you got to pay to play, and you're getting 28-year-old Rafael Devers, a two-time Silver Slugger in the prime of his career. So I like this trade for the Giants. I don't know a lot about Bello, so I guess I should hold off, making too many declarations until I really read about him. But he was not viewed as one of the Giants' top-tier prospects. Tibbs is, and he's an outfielder who I think has got 15 to 18 homer power, 75, 85 RBIs, and a guy who can hit for a good average and have a good approach. Jordan Hicks, though, as I said, he needs to be a reliever, and he wants to start. And as far as Kyle Harrison, he doesn't throw enough strikes to be a dominant front of the rotation starter. From the Boston Globe on Devers being dealt to the Giants, the team's feeling was that a $313.5 million contract comes with responsibilities to do what is right for the team, and that Devers did not live up to those responsibilities. They had had enough, and they traded him. So this is a personal thing, right? Boston is warring with their guy, and they throw him to the other league, to the other coast, and basically say, get out of here. And Hicks, Harrison, Bello, and Tibbs is a decent return. It's not like they got robbed. I wouldn't sit there and say that Breslow didn't get a good return in trade, but I think the Giants win the trade. And as I said, my nephew's a lifelong Red Sox fan, says BS trade, horrible trade. He's a big fan of Devers, and now he can watch him in orange and black. I like it. I like it for Buster. I think the timing's right. Watch the Giants take off in the second half with Devers leading the way. They need to score. This is a Giants team, if they can score 4 runs a game, is going to the playoffs. This is a Giants team that if they can get into the playoffs, they might be able to win a championship. You can't win a World Series if you can't go to the playoffs. Giants haven't been to the playoffs since 2021. They badly want to go back. This is clearly their best opportunity, and getting Rafael Devers is a huge step in the right direction. I love this deal. Give me your thoughts in the comments below. I love it. I think it's a great trade for the Giants. As I said, I think Tibbs is going to be a good hitter in the major leagues, but I think Devers is a better hitter. And Devers is in his prime, and the Giants have a big time in his prime, middle of the order bat that they can instantly inject into the lineup. And let's just say this, the rest of 2025 and the years ahead with Devers in that lineup are going to be awfully fun to watch. All right, thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of the Krueg Show. Thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles as well for sponsoring this video. And thanks to all of you guys for supporting the Krueg Show on YouTube.